This is a sincere observation about the debate on. This is a sincere observation on the debate of AUC chairman or chairperson. I know all of you usually watch my videos to the end, but for this particular one, I'd want to insist because in marathon, those who start leading may not be the leaders in the finishing. So my story is better understood if you listened up to the end. And this is a very sincere comment, especially coming from somebody who was among the first people to endorse one of the candidates. You will get a complete picture if you listen up to the end. My opinion is that if you listen halfway, you'll get half the story. I will start with the Madagascar fellow. The Madagascar fellow, if we were to go for this marathon, we have people who are called rabbits. These are people who start very fast, not even very fast. They are placed there in such a way that they are told by the coaches to make the race go at a certain speed, let us say 15 kilometers per hour, so that they pull these people. And when you go and as you approach towards the end, they don't have the stamina to run all the races. So we usually have those who pull them in the first 10 kilometers, second 10 kilometers, third 10 kilometers. Then the last 12 kilometers, now the real champions start running. In school, I don't know about 844, but during our time, one could persevere in school. He could not get anything in class, but he used to persevere in class until he completes Form 4 so that he gets a school leaving certificate for that school. If you left it at Form 3, you'll look for a job as a Form 3. But if you completed your job up to if you completed your schooling up to Form 4, you'll get a school leaving certificate declaring that you are a Form 4 student without the certificate itself. School leaving certificate during our time could assist you get a job. So this is the fellow I can say that he is that type who is going to get a certificate for participating in the race. When it comes to the Djibouti candidate, I have to be very sincere, especially being a very much pro Raila to take over. I'd be very frank with you that the Djibouti fellow won the debate hands down. He won the debate hands down. From the way he was talking and whatever, he looked physically fit and mentally alert. Raila seemed a bit tired, maybe because of the age. There are occasions when he could not complete a sentence and he could be stuck in the middle of the sentence, just like I am usually known for that in these videos. That there are times I talk, I reach somewhere, I even start hulabalooing while trying to discover where I was lost so that I come back. It comes with our age. And you see, Raila is older than me. Of course, I was born the same year with Uhuru Kenyatta and Obama. So Raila, if Uhuru calls Obama, and if Uhuru calls Raila my elder brother, then I can also call Raila my elder brother. Because I was born the same year with Uhuru and Obama. So you find that he was talking, reaching somewhere, he could not pick up what he was saying. There was that loss or whatever, but the Djibouti fellow it was like he was reading the auto cue. Raila also commented on issues which I think he should not have commented. I'll give two examples. One example is the issue of talking of Africa having two positions in the Security Council. And then he was saying that Europe has 3 seats in the Security Council. To me, that was an unfortunate because Europe is not, Europe is not a candidate it's not a candidate or it's not a voter in this issue. But Europe may have background influence. It also may be that members of the Security Council may not want an extra person. So commenting things such as that, members of the Security Council may use their backdoor diplomacy to convince the voters not to vote for Raila. Another thing that he did, which was unfortunate, he talked about the failings of the current chair until he reached a place and said, it is not that I'm criticizing this and that. You'll see the other two candidates did not criticize the current administration. But then you see he has been the father of opposition in Kenya, and some of the people he's campaigning against, you see, they come from like Djibouti, and even Madagascar. You see, he's against people who, for all purposes, are from one party state or no party state. For those of you who are slightly older than average, you'll remember that during Canute days, like today, when you are contesting for a seat, you'd say, Kenya kwanza ni serikali bure ama serikali ovyo. Sisi serikali yetu ya Azimio, we are going to do this and this. In a multi-party state like Kenya, you can criticize the government in power and say that we are going to offer. But African Union is more or less like a country which is a single party state. And especially, it would be very much advisable not to attack the outgoing person. You either try to win him on your side or you try as much as avoid him. What's more, he comes from one of the 54 countries, and it is likely that, not it is likely, it is obvious that his president will vote. So it is like while you are going around, let's say in Kenya, voting, and then you go to Kisumu and say Raila ni bure, and you want even to win a vote from there. So I think, and he discovered it halfway, and he tried to damage control, which I think was too little too late. The Djibouti candidate took advantage of his linguistic prowess. He is fluent in various languages. He is fluent in French. If you remember, Djibouti used to be known as French Somaliland. So he is fluent in French. He is fluent in English and he is fluent in Arabic. All things constant, he is the best candidate who can be there. Physically fit, young enough, uh, linguistic, and affable. But that is why I was insisting people listen up to the end. Even in the US, nowadays you'll find that presidential debates do not count. You can see the presidential debate between and Trump and Kamala Harris. Opinion polls also nowadays don't count like they used to. So, bearing in mind what we have just said, if things were to be that way, and if those people who are watching the TV were the voters, the Djibouti fellow would win it hands down. But as I said, the voters are 54 people. Elections are complicated because if people were to listen to what the three candidates talked and Africans went to the polling station, the Djibouti fellow would win it hands down. But the people who are going to vote, of the 54, maybe maybe even none switched on the TV that day. Maybe none. Or I would say three. I'd say three presidents tuned in to listen. And those are the presidents of the countries that the candidates came from. But otherwise, I would not be surprised if the other over 50 presidents didn't even bother, leave alone bothering. There are those who may not have listened to it live, may not even have listened to it later on, or they may even have used their peers to listen to and maybe make notes. I'd not be surprised if over 45% of the presidents didn't bother about it. So as I've said, if the viewers and or analysts were to vote, Djibouti will win. But the important who are the voters are the 54 heads of state. Like any election, voters, and when I say voters, this time I say the 54 people. Like any elections, voters may vote differently. You may feel that they are going to vote for you, but on the election day, they vote against what you don't expect. But then the targets has been this. Of course, the Djibouti fellow will try to win over the Arab and Islamic countries. But the constitution says that the vice chair has to be of the other gender, but from North Africa. And you know, North Africa are Arab and Islamic. So it would be a bit of a challenge to have the chair, the AUC chair, being a Somali Muslim, and then having the vice chair being an Arab from North Africa, also a Muslim. That is a target that the Djibouti fellow would try to get, but you see there is also the challenges. The other advantage to the Djibouti fellow is coming from French-speaking countries. But you'll find that Madagascar fellow spoke throughout in French, and he may also try to get votes from French. But then, even if he does that, recently, as near as 10 days ago, there were some stories of which Raila's office received information that the Madagascar fellow had stepped down for him. Now, I don't know. Okay, suppose it is true that his government had said so. The Madagascar fellow would be in a precarious position if his country has endorsed Raila. So, as I said, when he talked about permanent security, he may have annoyed some superpowers, and that may affect him. But what is important is that the feelings of the people who are voting the 54, of which standing below this fruit tree, I believe that the heads of state, unless something happens, they will vote for Raila. But he performed poorly. Just like you going to, sorry for a lack of a better place, you could be a very good candidate, you could be a very effective candidate, but you go to a place like Luo Nyanza, and you give all the strategic and scientific and whatever, but you are not on the ODM seat. You're wasting your time. So that is why I'm saying that the Djibouti fellow won the debate, yes, but that debate would not count when it comes to the heads of state voting. Thank you.